The power of belief is one of those things people talk about all the time. But not everyone truly understands how deep it runs. Belief isn't just some feel-good idea or a motivational quote you scroll past on your phone. It's the quiet force that shapes how you see the world, how you react when things get rough, and how far you're willing to go when nobody else is clapping for you. In real life, belief shows up when you decide to keep moving even when the odds look stacked. When you trust yourself before you have proof, and when you choose hope over doubt on days that feel heavy. Growing up, most of us hear phrases like, believe in yourself, or trust the process, but they don't really hit until life tests you. Belief becomes real when you fail a test, miss a shot, lose an opportunity, or feel like everyone else is moving ahead while you're stuck. That's when belief stops being words and starts being a decision. It's the moment you either let doubt take the wheel or you stand your ground and say, nah, I'm not done yet. What makes belief so powerful is that it doesn't depend on perfect conditions. You don't need money, connections, or luck to believe. You don't need everything figured out. Belief works in the background, quietly influencing how you think, talk, and act. When you believe in yourself, you show up differently. You speak with more confidence, take chances you would have avoided, and push a little harder when quitting feels easier. People notice that energy even if they can't explain it. A lot of success stories don't start with talent or privilege. They start with someone who refused to let their circumstances define them. Think about the kid who grew up with limited resources, but believed there was more waiting out there. Or the athlete who kept training when nobody believed they'd make it. Or the creator who posted content for years before anyone cared. None of them had guarantees. What they had was belief strong, enough to outlast rejection and failure. Belief doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. That's a myth. Everyone doubts themselves at some point. The difference is what you do with that doubt. People who believe don't let doubt shut them down. They let it challenge them. They question it, push back, and keep going anyway. They understand that fear doesn't mean stop. It just means something matters. One of the wildest things about belief is how it changes your brain. When you believe something is possible, your mind starts looking for ways to make it happen. You notice opportunities you would have ignored before. You connect dots faster. You learn from mistakes instead of being crushed by them. On the flip side, when you believe you're stuck or not good enough, your brain works overtime to prove that story right. That's why belief is such a big, deal. It literally shapes your reality. In everyday life, belief shows up in small moments. It's the student who raises their hand even when they're not 100% sure. It's the person who applies for the job even though they don't check every box. It's the decision to start over instead of staying comfortable in something that feels wrong. These choices might seem minor, but over time they stack up and change everything. People often underestimate how much their inner talk matters. The things you tell yourself when no one's around can either build you up or tear you down. If your inner voice is always saying, I can't, I'm not ready, or I'll fail anyway, that becomes your truth. But when you flip the script and start saying, I'm learning, I'll figure it out, or I'm getting better, your whole mindset shifts. That's belief in action. Belief also affects how you handle setbacks. Life doesn't play fair, and anyone who tells you otherwise is lying. You're going to face losses, disappointments, and moments that feel straight up unfair. Belief doesn't make those things disappear, but it gives you the strength to keep going through them. It reminds you that one bad chapter doesn't ruin the whole story. One powerful thing about belief is that it doesn't have to be loud. You don't need to announce your goals to the world or prove anything to anyone. Quiet belief is often stronger. It's the kind that keeps you working behind the scenes, improving when nobody's watching, and staying focused even when progress feels slow. That kind of belief is hard to shake. Belief also spreads. When you believe in yourself, it inspires others to do the same. People feed off confidence and authenticity. They can tell when someone genuinely trusts their path. That energy creates momentum, opens doors, and builds connections you never expected. Sometimes believing in yourself gives other people permission to believe in themselves too. A big mistake people make is thinking belief has to be constant. It doesn't. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, and other days you'll question everything. That's normal. The key is not letting one bad day rewrite your entire identity. Belief isn't about feeling confident 24/7. It's about coming back to yourself when doubt tries to take over. In today's world, where social media shows highlight reels nonstop, belief matters more than ever. It's easy to compare your behind the scenes to someone else's best moments and feel like you're falling behind. But belief reminds you that everyone's journey is different, and your timeline doesn't have to match anyone else's. Progress is progress, even when it's slow. Belief also teaches patience. Real growth doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, consistency, and a lot of showing up when motivation is low. Belief helps you trust that your efforts aren't wasted, even when results aren't immediate. It keeps you grounded when things are quiet and focused when distractions are loud. Another underrated part of belief is resilience. When you believe in your ability to adapt, you stop fearing change so much. You realize that even if things don't go as planned, you'll find a way through. That mindset makes challenges feel less overwhelming and setbacks feel more like lessons than failures. Belief doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging where you are while trusting where you're going. It's being honest about your struggles without letting them define you. It's knowing you have work to do and still believing you're capable of doing it. One of the strongest forms of belief is self-trust. Trusting that you'll make good decisions, learn from mistakes, and handle whatever comes your way. When you trust yourself, outside opinions lose their power. Criticism doesn't hit as hard, and validation isn't something you chase anymore. You move with purpose instead of approval. Belief also changes how you set goals. Instead of aiming small to avoid disappointment, you start dreaming bigger. You allow yourself to want more, try more, and become more, even if you don't hit every goal. The act of believing expands your limits and pushes you further than playing. It's safe ever would. At its core, belief is about choosing hope, choosing to believe that your efforts matter. Your dreams are valid and your story isn't finished yet. It's choosing to keep going when quitting feels tempting and staying patient when progress feels slow. That choice, repeated over time, creates transformation. People who achieve meaningful things aren't always the smartest or the most talented. Often, they're just the ones who believed long enough to see results. They stayed consistent when others gave up. They trusted themselves when the path wasn't clear. They understood that belief isn't magic, it's fuel. In the end, the power of belief lies in its simplicity. You don't need permission to believe. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need anyone else to understand your vision. You just need to decide that you're worth the effort, the patience, and the risk. When you do that, everything starts to shift. Belief won't remove obstacles, but it will change how you face them. It won't guarantee success, but it will keep you moving forward. And sometimes moving forward is the most powerful thing you can do. When you believe in yourself even a little, you give your future a chance. And that chance can change everything.